So anyway, does everybody get the concept? This is a way that we can connect to people who are a long ways away right now. But the real goal of what we're talking about is bringing people to Salt Lake City as well, and having a kind of a virtual community here so that you can actually meet, interact, and find opportunities that exist right here in our own city right now. So there's some changes that have taken place in the economy. And if I mention a couple of examples, you'll kind of understand what I'm talking about. So let's talk about Uber, for example, right? Uber is a taxi system, essentially. But instead of having a taxi come and pick you up, you take out your phone, and on your phone, you go to Uber and you put in that you need a ride from this location to this location. Now, somebody else who has Uber may say, I have a car. And so they'll tap in, okay, I'll come and give you a ride for 20 bucks. You show up, they give you the ride, you give them the 20 bucks. It's a successful transaction where what has just happened is the person who has a need has connected with somebody who has capacity to fill that need. It's exactly the kind of concept that you were talking about before we started the meeting, is that we live in an economy now where because of internet, because of mobile apps, because of changes in technology, we can connect all these different supplies of talent or ability or time, energy, or somebody's car to opportunities to utilize it. So all these resources that we didn't even think were resources, because how could anybody possibly use them, are suddenly becoming available resources if there's an application to marry them up. So Uber decided to marry up people with cars to people who needed a ride. You're talking about marrying up, people who have time or talent to do something for someone else, regardless of what that time or talent could be, to somebody who needs that particular help. And there's probably a lot of other projects. Like if you look behind you, Homey is another example of it. These are people who want to sell homes without a real estate agent. And one of the things that they're utilizing is, hey, do you have a neighbor next door who would be willing to come over and show your home if somebody punched into the mobile application, hey, I'd like to come and look at that house? Take away the need for a real estate agent, to be contacted to drive over and show it. Just a way to help people do a better, an easier job of doing a for sale by owner thing. So Joel's bringing over the Homey sign. But one of the creators of Homey was a guy who worked on the Uber application before it got launched. So they're just, again, trying to connect the supply of people who can help accomplish something with that inventory of people who really want that service or want that application. So that need is going to exist in any community. The thing that we're just focusing on when we're talking about, Joel mentioned Evolve Steam, or when we talk about a virtual community for Salt Lake City, is marrying up jobs with talent pool. Because what we're hearing from all these large tech companies is we have jobs for dozens or even hundreds of people that we're trying to fill. And if we go to places like, Iron County, we're saying we have 200 people here who are technically skilled and they're looking for a job. And somehow these two groups have never gotten together before. They've never discovered each other. And so that's one thing that we're including to help attract companies and jobs and people to Salt Lake City for this development. But the other element of it is right here in Salt Lake City, there's a guy that works for Adobe and a guy that works for Google and a guy that works for Accelerant, and we could name off 20 or 30 other companies.
The Linux lead for Facebook who lives in New York City.
Okay, and these guys may have similar jobs, similar interests, similar technical skills. They may really like to collaborate on a project together, but they have never met each other. Even though they live in the same city, even though they may work in a building 2 blocks away from somebody else in the technology community, they don't have any means right now of finding out about each other and, or finding a mentor or finding some extra skills or extra help they might need, and doing the kind of collaboration that they really should be doing that they would really like to do.